times that as an actress, you just felt like, all right, let me just go ahead and give it up and go on to do something else? And and then if there were times like that, how did you keep pressing forward for a moment like this, for, this show of Snowfall and beyond?
My sister? Ah, I got stories. Yes. There have been several times when, let's see. All right, let me think. Yeah, there have been at least 3 times in my adult life when I was ready to quit and answer phones, be a receptionist. Because I didn't know how to wait tables, so I really sucked at that. But I knew how to answer a phone, and I refused to learn how to type, so I couldn't be a secretary. But I knew how to answer a phone, and that's what I used to do when I was in New York after grad school. I would temp um, uh, as a temporary employee, as a secretary, as a receptionist in business in corporate America. And I was making enough money to survive. So when I first got out of grad school, I was auditioning for everything and getting nothing. And I found that I could at least pay my rent temping. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just temp. And then something came. I understand now, spirit guidance, right? Again, it has been a struggle. Mm-hmm. This is not easy. And there have been times, I remember when I moved right before I got The Wire, I had moved to, my then fiance and I moved to the Poconos in Pennsylvania. It's right across the border of New York when we lived in New York. And I had nothing. I mean, we bought a house and we were just trying to pay the mortgage and nothing was happening. And I was working as a home health aide, earning $10 an hour. And I was grateful to have that because it allowed me to work at night and still audition during the day. Okay. And I thought, well, this is what it is. And I was ready to give up. And then I went to an audition in, just like, whatever, I'm doing this. And that was The Wire, and I got that. Mm. And then, and I rode that for as long as I could ride it. And then I came to LA and thinking, I was just going to struggle some more. I mean, there's so many stories, but I have had several times in my life where I was on the ebb of the flow, right? Life is the ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. And I was in the ebb and I had lost confidence I lost my confidence and I just couldn't see the end of the tunnel. I couldn't see the light. And I thought, okay. And thankfully, every time I gave up, and I realized actually in hindsight, anyway, every time I gave up, something, again, spirit guidance, God, whatever you want to call it, tapped me on the shoulder and said, go to this audition. And then you go and something happens a little bit, just even if it's just a little bit. Yeah. There have been several times in my life when I cannot see what's coming and I'm scared and I want to choose the road most traveled. And some part of me lets go and allows God. And in doing that, I reconnect with my truth. I reconnect with my passion, and I find a way to eke out an existence until it comes again. Yeah. And then I have to tell you that there have been several times in my life when I have struggled with self-worth, and times when, if this makes any sense, times when I have gotten that thing that I had reached for so long. You spend so much time in this business hustling that I just, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm getting all intense and shit. And I'm like, okay, you spend so much time in this business hustling. I didn't know that. I didn't know anyway. And then I got it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to receive that, the treasure that I had been reaching for so long. And there have been times in my life where receiving it scared me. And in hindsight, I realized that I sabotaged it because I didn't know how to accept that kind of joy. I knew how to reach for it, but I didn't know how to accept it. So when it came, I fucked it because I didn't know what to do with it. And then when I lost it, I started reaching for it again because I want it, you know? And after a while, I realized that I was in this cycle, you know, this cycle, and it was not healthy. And then when I had my child, I came to I was struck with the knowing that that young African man is looking at me to tell him how to live in this world.